We have a transformation of a graph of an absolute value, and they're telling us that our f of x is the absolute value of x, and the g of x is the transformation. So the g of x is absolute value of x minus 6. And this is the transformation part, the minus 6. So we know our basic shape of an absolute value makes a v, okay, just like in the word absolute value. And when we look at the g of x, we are going to shift it. This minus 6 does not belong to the x. It's not in the absolute value with the x. So it's not going to go to the right or to the left. We say it belongs to the y. And since it's a minus 6, it's going to go in the y direction. It's going to go down 6. So let's answer this first question. It says, what transformations are needed? And this is a shift in the vertical direction. So it's a vertical shift, E. Nice work. Good job. And then they want us to graph it. So graphing absolute value is a little different than the other graphs, than a parabola. First thing you need to do is you need to click on the graph, and that's going to pop up this toolbar down here. Click on the graph. We see the toolbar. We can graph a line. We can graph an absolute value, a parabola, a horizontal parabola, a circle. We're going to click the absolute value. And when we come over to the graph, the first point that we pick is going to be the vertex. Okay, it's going to be the top or the bottom of the V or the top of the mountain. And normally for absolute value, your vertex is at 0, 0. And then your second point is going to be at 1, 1 or 2, 2 or 3, 3 or negative 2, negative 2. Now, I'm sorry, negative 2, positive 2. So it doesn't matter where I click. That is what the f of x looks like. All right, now the g of x is telling me that I need to take this thing and I need to shift it down 6. So you're going to notice that when I shift the vertex down, the other point does not move with it. So I'm going to move this down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now that doesn't make the same shape. That looks stretched. So I also need to go back and move this other point down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now it has retained its shape, and this is the correct answer. Now, it's not always easy to be able to move those 2 points together. So what I like to do is I like to go and test a point. Okay, I like to make a little T-chart and test a point. Let's do that now. So I'm going to go and I'm going to plug in an x value. Okay, and it doesn't matter which x value. I like to find one kind of close to the vertex. Here's the vertex. It's at 0, so I would pick 1 or 2 or 3. You see here, I have a point at 3, so let's go ahead and let's do 3. And let's make sure that that is the correct point. So the g of x is absolute value of x minus 6. And every time I plug in, I always use parentheses. I'm going to plug in for 3. X is 3, and let's find out what our y value is. So I have the absolute value of 3 right here, and we know that that's just 3. And 3 minus 6 is negative 3. So the point that I'm going to choose on the graph, my x value is 3, and my y value is negative 3. So let's go back to the graph, and let me make sure that this point here is 3 to the right and 3 down, and it is. Okay, if you had a different point, start from the origin, 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3 down, and now you know that that's the same. Let's check our answer. Fantastic. Well done.